All right. I get the privilege to share a couple of stories about some of our families. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pastor Jordan Cavanaugh, work with our K to 6. Just a first little note is as a ministry, most of you don't get to meet some of our staff, and we have some great staff in children's ministry, and they've been bringing ideas forward during COVID of how to minister to families. And one of those people is Joan Johnson. And we've loved having Joan on the team. And one of the thoughts that she had was, why don't we do some Advent boxes and pray for our families over Christmas? And so we put it out there. And I don't know if you've ever put out whether it be a small group time or a gathering, like, does anybody have any prayer requests? And you wait and you wait and you wait. It's like crickets. Nobody responds. And we were so blessed because on our response from our families, they're like, yes, we would love an Advent box. And boom, here are the prayers. And we had a massive spreadsheet of our families, lots of them asking for different things, just crying out to God for my husband's away. I'm alone with the kids, and I don't know what to do in this season. Crying out to God for we don't have work right now, and we're not sure how God's going to provide. Lots of other pieces like we don't even go to your church, but we've really enjoyed your children's ministry, and we need prayer for this. And it was awesome to see as we had our team send out and drop off the boxes, and then have some of our under shepherds, as Ken would call them, do some praying for these families via video or over the phone, and to see the response of how God used those prayers to impact these families' lives. And one in particular, which was just a really neat piece, was, hey, we don't have work. And to have one of our people pray with this family and get an email back the next week saying, you need to know, the Lord answered. We now have work. He has provided. And so that was just a real encouragement, just in some of the little things, to see God come through. Another little family that we've got who lives on the north end had some tragedy happen to him last year during COVID. And they woke up one morning and went out to their van and had seen that someone had ransacked their van and had stolen a bunch of stuff. And so they were trying to think of, like, what would Jesus have us do? And my response when, some of you know, we got broken into this last year. My response is to post something. What is the best security company out there? We need to get a big, everybody's like, get a big dog. It's like, it's a great idea. And this family, they had a different response. And what they decided to do is they put a big chest out in their back alley. And they they spray painted it, and they called it the blessing box. And what they started to do is they filled it with stuff. They filled it with gift cards and gloves and those little toe warmers and food and just a bunch of stuff. And they just kept refilling it. People would come and they take stuff, they kept refilling it. People would come, take stuff, they come refilling it. And they started to know that it wasn't just their stuff getting contributed in the box. Some people in their neighborhood had started to bring and started to put stuff in the box. And as this had been going on for a couple months, one of their neighbors came by and said, I need you to know, this box, whatever you're doing here, is absolutely changing our neighborhood. God is, they didn't say God. They didn't know they were talking about God. But you are being used to change things around here. And then this guy reached into his pocket and pulled out $5,000 cash and handed to him and said, keep doing it. Keep doing it. It was just cool to be able to see one of our families respond to the Holy Spirit, tell him, actually, I'm the one who provides for you. I'm the one who protects you. Let's flip the script. So that's story number 2. Story number 3, some of you have heard this story, and some of you are following along with one of our families, the Hillmans. And I don't know if most of you don't probably know the Hillmans, but their oldest son, who's 10, has a very rare cancer and has been doing chemo and a bunch of other things. And the prognosis is it's up and down all the time. And all of this has been during COVID. And talking with the family, I've been so blessed of watching their light shine everywhere they go. Got off the phone a couple weeks ago with Neil, and he said to me, he said, I would not trade what God is doing in our lives for anything, and yet I want out of it. And what's really neat is to be able to watch Jesus do something really significant in their family, but the families are connected to him, and in Gavin's life. And some of you heard this as Gavin came down over Christmas after he had been in and out doing a couple treatments. It hasn't been great lately, but he gave this line, and I have to share it again. I shared it on the 27th. I'm going to share it again here. He said, Mom, I feel so full of joy right now. So full of joy that I don't even care that I have cancer. And I think that has just been such a testament to the work of the Spirit in suffering. And I'm really grateful that in the midst, Dan was just talking about, do we have life? And it's neat to watch some of our families living out their faith in front of everyone else, and that life is living waters being poured out. So thanks for letting us share on behalf of our families, and thanks for partnering with us and praying for them too.